Hey everyone, Skippy here. Today we're going to talk about the Path of Exile 2 0.2 release, which is coming to us on April 4th. The devs are going to be announcing all of the changes that we're going to see on the 27th of March. However, they've given us a lot of teasers, and today I'm going to jump into what they've shown us, and then I'm going to offer some speculation, a little bit of copium to talk about things that I think may happen, things that I hope that happen, and I will create another video when we get closer to that 27th date and we have a lot more information on the table. See if we can get some good builds together. So let's jump into this. Okay, jumping right in, we've got two items they released early. Bringer of Rain teaser with the Hammer of Faith. Now, the Bringer of Rain is a Path of Exile 1 item that was used in a lot of builds. Cyclone was a very good use case for this, which I really hope comes with POE2. But I am curious on this Hammer of the Faith. The teaser on it gives us the descriptions of the item. It's coming with increased physical damage, reduced attack speed, all res, mana regeneration, and a random shrine buff every 10 seconds. If you partner this with the Bringer of Rain and you can dual wield it, it could maybe make some interesting builds as long as the random shrine buff stacks twice. Very, very curious to see how these two play out. I'm very hopeful for a good warrior build with Cyclone. Bringer of Rain builds were fantastic in Path of Exile 1 if you were running trials and doing carries at the start of seasons. It's been many years since I played. I have no idea how it's used in Path of Exile 1 now, if I'm being honest with you. Embittered Gem is another one that they are putting in, a good support gem there. They have talked about the tower in-game challenges, which I know people have voiced how controversial this is. I've heard others in their videos discussing it. While putting a tablet inside of a tower could potentially put a breach encounter inside of a tower, I think that's just going to be considered a casualty of war. I love the idea that the towers are now going to have more content in them, something better to do. Right now, you jump in it, you blast to the end just to put a tablet in. They're kind of a waste of time. It would be nice to know that no matter where my tablets hit, I now have one more option for a delirium or a breach or anything. Even if it's not good, every little bit counts in a game where you're grinding. So I personally think this could be good. We will see how it plays out. If full clearing and looking for the rares causes towers to become a little more tedious, maybe they'll look at that and they'll do some better pathing items in the future where rares only spawn along the coordinated path to the end. We'll have to wait and see what they do with that. Adding a big improvement to the Atlas passive skill tree is very welcomed. It wasn't as good as what I would have liked to have seen it be. While it is nice that you can push into some essences, more mods on the maps and waystones when they drop, more rare mods or mobs, more magic mobs. It's very basic, and it was easier to flip your stats back and forth based on what you were targeting. So I'm hoping they can put some more permanent structures in place. Prism Guardian and the Deepest Tower. The Deepest Tower is an item I have no idea about. However, I have seen others speculating how the Spiritborn Crown is an Act 4 only helmet, which could become pretty nice. If we're talking theory here, if we get Act 4 should also come with another form of trial, which I think is beautiful. I would love to see anything other than the Trial of Sekhmet and the Trial of Chaos. They are great ways to farm currency early and late league, but they do get boring. Mixing it up with some more in-game or campaign style content is a welcomed additive. Prism Guardian, the only thing I remember about this is it was a shield in Path of Exile 1 that was used by a lot of characters for aura botting. I don't really remember much else about it, but it does look like it has potential to be a pretty good shield. So any unique that is a usable unique at this point is a welcomed addition. This was some art that the devs released as well. It looks like you've got a mercenary, so I'm hoping it's the mercenary class all the way around, but we see a new weapon here, which is the one-handed sword. I'm pretty excited about that. One-handed swords were one of the best areas of Flicker Strike, so you might get some new foils, etc. with this. This could be a big game changer for how warrior class ascendancies go. I'm pretty excited for that. They did some visual changes. I've got another tab open here to give you another teaser. Around essences, I like the new visual changes that they're talking about. Hopefully they're going to be a little more complicated, hopefully a little harder, and a little more worthwhile. Maybe we see some more greater essences pop up from time to time. That would be nice. I'm not even going to touch on the blacksmith image that came with this teaser, while Prism Guardian came out as well. I don't believe we're getting a paladin, but we'll get to that kind of conversation later. I don't really know what we can expect out of this. All right, we've got Perfection and Batter Shout, 2 new support gems. And if you go out to the site and you really read on these, they make me feel like they could be potentially used during campaign leveling, but they're not good for in-game blasting. I could be wrong. This could come into a really unique build, and I hope I am wrong. But these make me feel like the pace of the game needs to be slower, and maybe that's exactly where the devs are going. They want to slow it down. They don't want to have a twin of Path of Exile 1 where the object is how much magic find and movement speed can you have. So interesting to see what they say on the 27th around that. The weapon lock teaser was another item that they just released to us, where you no longer have to have a really good weapon in your offhand to use the weapon skills number 2. You can use both weapon skill slots 1 and 2 with your primary weapon now. So I think that's going to be good. Okay, now let's get into what we can call theory, copium, however you want to word it, with the .2 update, Dawn of the Hunt. I'm hoping, in this image right here, we see a Huntress. So the hope for a Huntress is already confirmed. We're definitely getting that. But behind the Huntress, we see a male character carrying a spear as well. Every class in Path of Exile only has one gender, and I'm hoping this is the Druid. Fingers crossed it's the Druid. Path of Exile did say many months ago that the next set of character classes that they would release to us would be the Huntress and the Druid. So I'm hoping on the 27th we'll hear them say the Druid is also coming to Path of Exile too. A couple other items that I'm thinking based on that Spiritborn helm and being theoried that it is only available once you get to Act 4. I'm kind of hoping to see Act 4. Does that also mean that we'll get the 3rd trial of Ascendancy? That would be insane. Having swords and spears is another one. I think spear is already fully confirmed. Sword may not be coming, but we'll see on the 27th. If so, I'm really hoping that Bringer Rain Sword Cyclone combo is going to be something that really comes into play. I think that's going to be an exciting build change. It's super fun to play. Solo Self-Found is also another part of this game that could really use a lot of love. Crafting in general could use a lot of love. And since we are talking about the season being called Dawn of the Hunt, I'm really hoping when GGG goes live on March 27th, we hear them say that we're going to reintroduce Einhart into Path of Exile 2. Now, Einhart is a weird little NPC. You capture monsters for him, and you can use their essence to essentially craft modifiers onto other items. It was a fantastic way when leveling to put movement speed on boots. I have not played Path of Exile for a very long time, so I apologize. I don't know how he is best used in Path of Exile 1, but in Path of Exile 2, if you can craft, and it gives you another variable beyond random number generation through orb slamming, it is welcomed. I know essences exist, I know omens exist, but we're talking 5% of the community has the ability to utilize those, where 100% of the community would be able to utilize Einhart. I think it's a fantastic quality of life improvement. I think it would help the economy in the game. It would offer a lot of much easier diversity in the gear choices as well. So I'm really hopeful to see all of that. We'll see how many of those wishes come true when we get over to March 27th. I'll make a new video going through all of that with you. We're going to basically be talking about what's new. That's the exciting part. So we'll start with what's new. We'll move on to what they nerf, what they take from us. Will Stat Stacker survive yet another Path of Exile campaign? Will the Spark Archmage be nerfed into Obliteration and you cannot use it anymore? Will that build still be semi-usable but need to be adapted to a different form? There's a lot of questions that I have, and I'm very excited to see what the devs announce, so I'll be following up with another video as soon as I have more information. Until then, thanks for stopping by. I hope this was at least entertaining, if not slightly informative, and I will talk to everyone soon. Have a great day.